This is the novel written by Alan Partridge, which I got in the United Kingdom, and so this is the author, Alan Partridge. But as any comedy lover would know, this is a genius creation by Steve Coogan. So Alan Partridge is not Steve Coogan, but Alan Partridge is Steve Coogan. Now, from neuroscientific point of view, it is a really interesting creative process for a comedian like Steve Coogan to create a personality character like Alan Partridge. It involves several, brain functions. For example, it involves switching because maybe coordinated nucleus would do the job, because you really need to switch to a person different from you. You might be a liberal, politically liberal, but you might play the character of a politically conservative person. That is very interesting because it means that you can switch between these two alternative views. It would mean that you are committed to diversity because you embrace the fact that there are many different political views and you want to embrace it. And it is very much associated with this concept of inclusion. So diversity and inclusion. These are very important aspects of a comedy where the creator, the comedian, plays a character, Partridge, who might be of a little bit different disposition from you. It also means that you have the ability to have metacognition of the situation, because unless you have this metacognitive ability to look at yourself from outside and kind of objectively assess the parameters that are involved, you cannot really play a character different from you. But the most important thing is that the creator, the comedian, is always larger than the person, fictional character that the comedian creates. In this case, Alan Partridge, because Alan Partridge is part of Steve Coogan. Otherwise, he cannot create this fictional character. But the fact that Steve Coogan can play Alan Partridge means that Alan Partridge is only a subset of Steve Coogan. There are many other people. There are many other characters within Steve Coogan, fictional and actual. But the fact that you can sometimes focus on one fictional character and play it is a really beautiful testimony of the robustness of the brain of Steve Coogan, the creator, and that is a so joy of comedy. The fact that we can be many different people, we can simulate many different people, and have conversations between these fictional characters. This is a great celebration of the robustness and flexibility of the human brain. So that is why when we watch the Alan Partridge series, we get such joy because, it means that, this guy, Steve Coogan, is playing Alan Partridge, but he's not really Alan Partridge. He's just pretending in a creative way to be that person. And that means that, we can do that, because in many real life situations, especially when political views are involved, people tend to adhere to one particular view and, do not have the flexibility to shift and look at things from different angle. So they're stuck there. And that's not very good for the brain. So the fact that a comedian can create a fictional character is a great celebration of the freedom of our spirit. So here's to Alan Partridge, a great comic creation from Steve Coogan.